Hey, thanks for being a part of the conversation. Let's play it forward. These are real people with real stories. The struggle to play it forward. Episode number 636 is with the author of Mastering AI, Jeremy Kahn. Jeremy, I want to thank you for this book because I still believe that the majority of us have no idea what AI technology is, and yet you can go to Google and it says right there, it says it's using AI technology to help us out.
Yeah, I mean, AI is in a lot of things without us even realizing it, and it's going to be even more places going forward. And I wrote the book to really give people who aren't technical people some sense of what is this technology and how to think about all the effects it might have on us and on society and on our jobs, across the board.
I'm glad you said the effects on us because I fear it's going to make us lazy. What's your inside?
Yeah, that's one of my big fears also. And it's one of the dangers I really do point to in the book. And it's a danger I don't think it's gotten enough attention. I think this technology will work pretty well in the future most of the time. And when something works pretty well most of the time, we tend to use it and we tend to get very lazy about it. And I think we've already seen with social media how addictive, things that like this can be. And I worry we're just going to become very good at outsourcing a lot of the thinking that we really should reserve for ourselves to AI chatbots and to digital assistants. And I think that's a real danger. I worry that people will kind of surrender their critical thinking abilities. I worry that they will stop writing altogether. And I think one of the dangers of this technology is it encourages a belief that writing and thinking are kind of completely separate activities, that you can just, I'll think of a few bullet points and I'll give it to the AI assistant and I'll just have it write for me, my essay, or I'll have it write the business document I need written, or I'll have it write this legal brief. And I think that's potentially really dangerous because it's through writing very often that we refine our thinking, that we find the holes in our argument. So I think, having this always do our writing for us is also dangerous. I think there's a lot of areas where, we could get really lazy. Also, a lot of people are already using AI systems and chatbots as kind of companions. And I worry that people will find it, very easy to have this kind of companion chatbot that you have a relationship with, you can have this dialogue with, and it's so easy because unlike a real person, it makes no demands of us. It has no real needs or desires that need fulfilling. And it's going to be a lot easier than, a relationship with your real human family or your friend or your partner or your spouse. And I worry that people, some people will choose this actually over real human relationships. So that's another danger. Again, I think it's a kind of laziness that real human relationships, take work, and potentially a relationship with a chatbot's going to take a lot less work.
I want my dog to talk to me. I don't care about AI. I just want my dog to talk to
me. Yeah, that would be great. I would love if my dog could talk to me too.
So one of the things that really kind of about AI technology, first of all, I praise you on the writing because I'm a daily writer. I've been doing it for 30 years. But what I do is I handwrite everything. I knew the computer generation would change the way that people write, but I have to handwrite everything. And you're exactly right. When people stop writing things, they stop using their head.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think not enough people realize that. And there are a lot of people out there who say, I hate writing because it's hard. And it's hard because it involves thinking. But I always, one of the things I advocate in the book is it's very easy. And a lot of people say, have the AI system write a first draft and you kind of act as the editor. And then actually sometimes people are very dissatisfied. It didn't do a good job. I could have done a better job myself. You always write the first draft because that's where the hard thinking is. And that's where you can help refine your arguments. The human should do the first draft. Then you actually give that draft to the AI and have it act as an editor and critique that for you. I actually think that's a much better way to use the technology because it both tends to do a better job in that role as kind of the editor or critiquer, but also you avoid the danger of de-skilling that way.
I got to praise some AI technology here too, because I recently was injured pretty badly on my rotator cuff, and the doctor said surgery, and this AI technology that I've got has been giving me all these different exercises to do, and I've got control of my arm again. So I've got to praise it as well. So it's helping out in the medical world as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. And one of the areas where I really think it will supercharge things and make things better is in medicine. The potential for more precision medicine, more personalized medicine is tremendous. And then also, I think we're going to see AI used for a lot of drug discovery. So we're actually going to have new treatments and new medicines come on the market, potentially at much lower cost, because it will shorten. There's part of the drug discovery process that is you're never going to be able to get around, which is human clinical testing. That's very important for safety and and for efficacy. But there's a lot of steps before it gets to human clinical trials where a lot of drugs fail and that take a lot of time and a lot of money, and potentially AI shortens that process tremendously. So that could actually get us better medicines faster and cheaper.
So this recent stock market fall, any of that connected to AI, or is this something that maybe we can use in the future so we don't fall so fast?
Yeah, well, people are using AI in trading systems. I don't think, you could attribute this recent fall to AI. I think there were a whole bunch of things. The only, except that there was a lot of hype around AI technology, and that's why a lot of these companies had been bid up to, I think, unsustainable valuations. I think, frankly, people were looking for reasons to take profits and to sell, and you had a variety of factors kind of come together that led people to try to jump out of these stocks. And if you look, some of them have bounced back. I think the technology is very real. Does that mean that NVIDIA should be worth $3 trillion as it was last week before the recent market correction? I'm not so sure. That's a whole different question. But do I think the technology will be transformative and real over the longer term? Yes, I do. One
of the things that brings a lot of fear into my heart when it comes to entertainment, acting, as well as Drake redoing everybody else's voices, such as Tupac.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that's a concern. I think it's definitely a double-edged sword when it comes to creativity. There are going to be challenges here. But on the other hand, there's potential to really unleash a lot of human creativity. There's a potential to use this technology alongside human creative processes as a tool for human creativity in really interesting ways. And I talked to visual artists in the book. I talked to a number of authors in the book. I talked to musicians in the book who are using AI as part of their creative process and doing really amazing things. Yeah. But it always involves quite a lot of human input alongside what the AI does. These are not people who are just prompting it, with a couple lines of text and having it do all the work. This is a case where you might do that as an initial step, but there's quite a lot of post-editing. There's quite a lot of combination with human-created stuff going on. But yes, I think there's going to be tension. I think actors are going to have to safeguard, their images. And I think we saw this strike last year between the screen actors and the Hollywood studios. I think that's just a prelude to further battles over AI technology and who owns the actor's likeness and their voice over the long term. And I think the studios are going to want to try to go for a power grab and say they own the right to those performances. And I think some of it will come down to leverage. So the biggest stars will have enough leverage to say no. But if you're a starting out actor, it's going to be a lot harder to say no to because you're not going to get any work otherwise if they're insisting on this. And that's why I think there will be tension. There may be more strikes in the future over this.
Wow. Was it clickbait yesterday when I read the story about Elon Musk and putting fake commercials on X through chat box?
No, I mean, I don't think that was, fake news. I think Elon, he's been fighting this war with the advertising community over X. And I think he's taken various steps to try to undercut the advertisers, including perhaps, using AI to create fake ads. But it's, I don't know. I mean, Elon's got this interesting thing going on with X and the advertisers. So AI may play part of that. Elon's a big fan of using AI, of course.
Dude, if AI technology is as perfect as they say, then why is it? One day there could be an AI human figure that becomes president of the United States, and it's not even real.
Maybe we should take steps to prevent that from happening. Right? I would say we should, but yeah, there was a candidate actually in the UK. I happen to live in the UK, and there was a candidate in the UK. He was a human candidate, but he said he would kind of act on behalf of AI and just implement what its decisions were. And the way it worked is it would take feedback from people through social media on what the policy should be, and it would kind of aggregate that information and come up with a kind of consensus view on what the policy should be. And then it would output that consensus view to this person who said if he was elected, he would simply vote whichever way the AI system was telling him to vote. That guy actually, he didn't win, luckily, but if he had, I think that would have been a very interesting moment to see. But I'm not sure we should allow this. I do think, and in the book, a lot of the book, I make a plea for trying to make sure that it processes where we really want people to be acting on lived experience, human experience, that we not surrender this to AI systems, because no AI system is ever going to have any lived experience. And I would actually say that politics is one of those areas where you really want your representatives, well, at least in a democracy, you want your representative to know where you're coming from and to actually have lived experience that somehow and empathy for the constituents that he is or she is representing. And you don't want AI to out there necessarily taking on that role, because that AI is never going to have real empathy. It can have kind of simulated empathy, or it can say things that sound empathetic, but that's never. It's always going to be false. And I think that's a real risk. And I think we should avoid situations like that. We should not be putting these systems in places where they're kind of pretending to have empathy. Where what we really want is genuine, authentic empathy.
Yeah, you got to come back to this show anytime in the future, Jeremy. The door is always going to be open for you.
Oh, great. Thanks so much, Arrow.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
Absolutely. You too.
Thank you.